November 25th, 2019, and we are in Sydney, Australia at the home of Katina Komino over here, Alfieris, and we've got her dad, Jimmy Alfieris, here, and we're going to ask him some questions about growing up in Kythera. So, Jimmy, tell me, what's your birth date?
My birthday?
Yeah, when were you born?
18/10/29.
Say it again.
18
18.
18th of October.
The 10th of
18th of October.
18th of October. All right. And
1929.
1929. And when you were growing up in Potamo, where was your house? Is it the house that you have now?
Yeah.
That's the house.
The original there.
That's the original house. And were you born at home?
Yeah, my father bought it when he came back from Australia.
Okay. All right.
Because that's the house I was born in, that house.
Yeah.
And I brought up. That's what.
So you were born in that house and you became a groom in that house? That's okay. So what do you remember about going to school when you were a young boy? Where did you go to school?
In Potamo.
In Potamos.
Yeah.
Was it the school right outside of the...
On the main road?
Yeah,
on the main road that you see?
Yeah.
And
The public school. But at the time we didn't have the teachers because there was war on, and just passed the time, really.
how many children were in the classroom?
The whole school, it was about 140. In my tag sheet, I don't know, 40?
40? So you had, that's a pretty large
So that
class.
year was during the war?
Yeah.
Yeah, which 1940...
1940 to 1944.
And what subjects did you learn? Amalia had a list of
Yeah,
subjects.
they've got the record.
Did you learn other languages?
No.
No. Okay.
Reading, writing, arithmetic,
Yes.
and what about your handwriting?
Yeah, that's all we use. And all.
Yeah, but how good was your handwriting?
Good.
Why? How? The teacher thought it was good. Why?
Because it was clear writing, you know.
And did they make you write things for
Yes.
them? Yeah. Say that.
Because when we get the papers for the rest of the school, we had to write a copy of it and send them to the school.
And you were
Because
doing the
original,
copies.
do that, yes.
All right. So how far did you go in school? Did you finish high school in Potamo?
No, I went to, what do you call it, Astico, I don't know what you call it, but I only was off for a few years. Supposed to go to a gymnasium,
High school.
but Manuel was going to high school and I can't afford to have the two boys because So after the war finished, 1945, I went to Athens and I got school in commercial Eborikit.
Yeah. Eborikit schoolie. So it's like to learn economics, commercial thing,
Night
accounting type stuff.
Night
school. But you had to work in Athens to pay your way.
Through the week, through the day I work and go 7 o'clock to the school. And,
So what kind of work did you do during the day?
what do you call it?
You worked for, what was his name?
Megalokonomo, Manueli.
Your cousin?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Megalokonomos. And they had lighting business.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like everybody had a
That's where Martha learnt
Oh,
her trade.
that's where she...
Martha learned
Same
that.
thing, same person.
Okay, so then what happened?
And then I had proselytcy from Uncle Kerry, my uncle, but I couldn't leave Greece because I wasn't in the army.
You hadn't served
And
It's national service.
a friend of mine one night says to me, Alfieris, I looked at the paper this morning and let the guy to classes 1950, which was my age. So I went home, I told my boss, oh, he says, I did read it too, but it's only for the Navy. I didn't do little business, and next morning I got to the office to find out what's the truth. And when I got up, what do you want? I said, well, that's what I heard about it, but they told me it's only for the Navy. He says, what part you come from? From Kythera. That sort of people that got in Kythera?
Yeah, because this was about you not having to, were you being called up or not called up?
I never been through there to see what it was in the Navy or Air Force or...
So he didn't have to serve.
Oh, that's good. So,
So he was
so-
allowed to leave for
So
Australia.
this fellow says, go, canto Stavros.
oh, good.
And then how did you get to Australia?
The small plane, 10 days, 14 passengers.
Oh my gosh. How many stops?
The airport and the...
Bossa. You went through Cairo.
So
Where
did
did you
they
go?
fly to Cairo first?
Where'd you go first?
Cyprus.
Cyprus.
From Cyprus to Baghdad. From Baghdad to... 10 days it took us.
You ended up in India. You went through India, Colombo,
No, not
Not
Colombo, Calcutta.
Calcutta.
Wow. What year was this?
What year?
Yeah, what year was it that you left Greece?
58.
48.
48.
48.
You arrived in 48. I think you left at the end of 47, and by the time they got here, it was January 1948.
Did you know anybody else on the plane? Was
We've got the manifest.
Uh-huh.
There were a lot of Kytherians.
Yeah, all Kytherians, the
Kytherians.
passengers. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was one from Ithaca. The only
So it was George Marcelos
Uh-huh.
had bought these
that is
Air
father
Force
had.
planes, his
Oh,
father,
okay.
and would use them to take Kytherians.
But I remember we got from Cyprus to Baghdad, big storm, and the poor pilot, to stop all the, he went up very high. And George comes around, looked behind, blew my love, and kind of told him, she's got down because
Wasn't
no oxygen.
pressurized.
Oh my gosh. That must have been something. So what was it like when you first arrived in Australia? You didn't
What do you mean,
didn't
Vicky?
you didn't speak English, did you?
No.
No. So was that difficult for you to
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
was hard. It was hard.
And you lived with your
And,
uncle?
I worked for my uncle, my
Uh-huh.
mother's brother. Mm-hmm. And I arrived in May, and in November, my brother got killed in the war, George. I so disgust, so...
That must have been so hard.
I used to go to bed and cry all night. And he had the photo under the pillow, and bloody bitch, auntie of mine, she took it, tear it up, and threw it
And
out.
she's, oh gosh, that's terrible.
But you found
I found the picture and I took it to the photographer and he put it together. And,
Heartless.
and he was born here, mind you see. That's
He was-
George, he got killed.
George was born here?
Yeah, and Manuel too, they're two brothers.
Uh-huh. So, okay, I get confused about who came over when. So was that his first trip here?
yeah.
And then Because Manuel and
The two eldest were born in
here and before they went back to Greece.
and Yaya was pregnant with their Spiridula.
That's
when
right.
they left Australia. Was she pregnant? Yaya?
Spiridula, yeah.
Yeah.
But when they came down from Daba to get the boat, grandmother had a heart attack and she died.
She died, yeah. So your parents got married, what, 1922?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think that's what we have.
They got married 22 years.
And then they had
27.
Emmanuel and George, and then they went back to Greece.
so. Yeah, George was
That's the
first.
worst thing.
George was first, and then Emmanuel went back to Greece,
That's the worst thing my father did anyhow.
going back to Greece.
Why did he want to go back?
He didn't like Australia. Of course, those days, it was very hard, for the migrants to... But after the war, things changed, But he didn't even get the naturalizer.
No,
He didn't get what?
natural. He
Oh,
didn't become.
naturalised.
Whereas Uncle Manuel,
Uncle Manuel did.
Theodore's father, he became a British citizen.
Okay. Who came in 1906?
Yeah.
He worked in George Street for 10 years, 11 years, around his cafe.
You're talking about your father now.
There.
Okay.
And then he brought his brother Manuel, the George's father, and the mother,
Yeah.
1912. And they bought the shop at Wellington. And then Peter Babakari came out with two boys, Stan and George. So they were too many in one shop. They decided to buy another shop and split them up. So Uncle Manuel took them to Warren. Warren was for sale then. Town Warren.
It's a town.
So he went there and he says to them, I'll stay for a month just to teach you this and that. And then I'm going back to Wellington. And I'll leave the shop to you, Peter, and you two brothers, they can work for it. Now, he says, the shop is mine. The boys got nothing to do with the shop. So Uncle Manuel got a bit upset. He left, he sold the shop, and he went back to Wellington. From there, they went to Baraba, Peter and two boys, and the depression came in 1930, here at the time, I think. It bought a lot of money from the bank to fix the shop, and they went broke and split up.
And what was the name of that shop?
Like to Peter,
Yeah, what was the name of that shop?
the name,
Which town?
eh?
Well, the
Which town?
last one that they were at.
Piohorio. Which town were they in?
Baraba.
Yeah. Was that a Peters and Co. or a
Baraba was Faros had it, Alfieris had it.
Alfieris?
But I said with the depression 1928, they lost all the money, and after that, Georgie went to the Air Force, to the Army. Stanley went to Grafton and got married to Kitty.
Kitty. And what happened to George?
He got killed in, what's the name of the island?
New Guinea.
Eh?
New Guinea?
New Guinea.
How long did you stay in Australia before you went back to Kythera? You came in 1948
Yes.
and you worked for your uncle, and,
Yes.
and then how long did you stay before you went back?
In 61, my brother Manuel rang me and says, Mom is getting down and you better come and if you want to get it in time. So I came down from here. I took the plane, I went, and I missed about 2 hours.
Oh,
I got there nothing, 7:30, and she died 5:30.
was had she been sick?
She had a cancer.
Oh, she had cancer.
But anyhow, I was so depressed, so worried, you know. I said, I'll stay to surrender from the emotional and then go back to Greece, back to Australia. I had a return ticket with Qantas. At the meantime, I got mixed up with Mary, and I got married.
You got mixed up with Mary. I like that. How did you get mixed up with Mary? Did you know Mary before you went to Greece before?
No.
You just met her over there? How did you meet?
My father and my uncles, Stavris, you knew him. But my Spiridula's husband, have you met him, Nick?
No, I never did meet
What
him.
a shame.
So how did you meet Mary? You said that Nikos introduced you?
Yes. And the night I went to Carbonades to fix it, I took my father, my uncle Stavri Stelio, Strati, Nick, my brother-in-law. Anyhow, we went upstairs. The poor old father-in-law, he shouts everything in the brandy. And after that, I said, can I speak to Mary for a few minutes? We went inside, and I explained to her where she's going. There was no other Greeks in there. And I come out, I say, everything's okay. Yeah. And Brandy Nick, I remember this today. No, Malaka.
Why did he say that?
Because he was trying to get the house in Piraeus for Prika, for Mary. And my poor father says, I got the house for the other sister.
She's older.
1 year older.
So she had to keep that house?
Yeah, and I gave a block of land in Alimo to Maria.
Met Mum.
Yeah.
Who introduced you?
Yes.
Say that now.
And we went to Piraeus and stayed at George's house with Mick Psaltis.
So, who's Mick Psaltis?
Minasmora Psaltis.
From Australia.
From Australia. And I explained to him, and he said, don't worry. So we went back. He went to Carbonades, and he says to Mary, you got a χαιρετίσματα από κάποιον από το Βαμόρι. Who? Jim Alfieirs. Yeah. It was very, very good of him. Anyhow, he was a very nice man.
And that's how you got introduced to Mum. But she was the second daughter.
The second daughter, yes. It was only 1 year difference between them, you know. But he did the right thing. He left the house, he left the block of land, which we sold after that for 10 million euro.
10 million euro, drachmes.
Yeah, it would have been nice, huh?
Yeah.
Drachmes.
So did you get married in Kythera or did you get married here?
Kythera.
In Kythera. I've got your wedding photo.
But I didn't have a big wedding because my mother was still, it was only 6 months when she...
Yeah. So how long did you stay in Kythera then before you came back to Australia?
Well, I got married on the 5th of October, and
What year was that?
61.
61, yeah. And I was so depressed when I lost my mother, so I'm down. But I had a return ticket with Qantas, return ticket to Australia, and I was going to get another ticket for Mary, so she can't fly to Australia, Mary. Why? Because he had to live in Athens most 6 months before she can. Stupid bloody no.
Now why
She
is
wasn't
that?
allowed to fly out.
Because they had just gotten married or?
Or she
No.
wasn't a resident of Athens. Maybe it was a quarantine thing. She's come
Yeah.
from the farm.
Oh.
So it might have been that.
Uh-huh.
That's something interesting.
So we had to come by boat. But we had a good trip, a beautiful trip.
So you went by boat to Australia.
Yeah, came back.
And how long did that take?
Oh, well, it took us about 35 days.
But it was a cruise. You were
Cruise,
on a
yeah,
cruise on an
yeah.
English ship.
So now that you're back in Australia, what kind of work did you do after you got married? You came back in
When I came back, I sold the shop I had here because my intention is to go to Greece and stay there. But I see there's no future for him, Dr. Drummond.
Okay, so after Des Moines, you went back to Greece and your mother
No.
died?
No, I went to Houston.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so after Des Moines, you opened the shop in Hillston.
Yes.
And who did you open that with?
Partnered with George's father.
Okay.
Uncle Manuel.
Uncle Manuel, yeah.
Uncle Manuel, okay. And how did that go? How long did you have
That
that?
was in 67.
How was your life?
It was all right. But 61, when my mother, I had to go back to Greece, and the kids, well, see, there's no future for their country. I went to Greece to stay.
Uh-huh.
Well, came back. Just as well I did sell the house. I had the house.
No, that was in 74. You're mixing it up.
But the house I had it too. In 62 I bought the house.
No, in 65 you bought the house.
Which-
You didn't have Enfield in 62?
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought it was 62.
No.
Okay, so you had the shop in Hillston. When did you sell that one?
To Theodore
50?
60.
What is it?
After Victor was born. It's getting tired.
That's okay. So what happened after Hillston?
So they came back with Maria and you lived in Hillston. You came back from Greece
Yes.
and you took Mum to
12
Hillston.
years. 12 years I was with Mum in Hillston.
No, you weren't. Because Mum came in 61 and you left Hillston in 67.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
60
all right.
years, yeah,
So
60
Katina, you tell us what
60
happened then.
years.
Yeah, so they arrived from Greece. Mum was a newlywed.
Yeah.
And she was taken out to Hillston, which was in far west New South Wales.
Now, was that like a really small town? or-
Very, very small town. And they had a cafe. And the main customers were shearers, local farmers. It was hard, wasn't it? Hard life.
Because especially with the sharing time, they used to get drunk Saturday night. They come to the cafe and start a fight.
And why did you end up selling that shop? Or he gave
So
it to Ruli?
then he was in partnership with Ruli.
Yep.
And then you decided after Victor was born in 66 that it was time to move to Sydney.
To Sydney.
Okay, so when
In
you moved...
71, we decided to go to Greece.
73.
73, yeah, with the Passaria was
The
on.
Panepistimial, the November 73 was the, that was when we left Australia for Greece.
It was funny when we got to airport. There was tanks everywhere, in airport. And she turned and asked, "Daddy, this is Greece." Unfortunately.
That's when you lived there for about a year, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to Kythera and stayed for a year, and we had the Cypriot problem too happened, and we decided to come back here.
Yeah.
Now, did you work when you went back to Kythera? Or
After we came back,
No, in
no,
Kythera.
in Kythera
in
that
Kythera,
year.
no.
Did he didn't have to work.
I was
when he
looking
there.
for a job, but I couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
My brother was, as you know, he was a Colgate
Uh-huh.
And he wasn't allowed to be a relative to the company.
Uh-huh.
He couldn't get me a job there.
So you stayed there for a year, then you went back to
So we
Kythera?
came back.
I mean, back to Australia?
Back to Australia. I got a job, and Mary got a job, and that's how we made the money.
So what kind of job did you both get back here?
Me,
Yeah, both you and Mary, you said. What kind of work
I
did
was
you do?
working in a factory when apothecary, what's it called?
The storerooms.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Mary, she was working in a salmon shop.
Takeaway
Yeah.
shops. Yeah.
So they did that until they retired?
Yep.
Okay, when your father and your brother came back to Australia, what happened?
And they bought the shop in Tuckerville. And
What was the name of that one? Did they have different names?
Did you know?
No.
What's it called?
no,
And what kind of a shop was it? Was it like a milk bar or
a restaurant.
Cafe.
cafe?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And go ahead and tell us about that.
You didn't know much about token wool. It was just Papu and his brother.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Fiesta Bris, three of the partners.
Ah, Papu's brother-in-law, who had married.
And they sold to Matzos in 36. In 37, the three of them came back to Greece.
Okay, so when you say Mwatzos, are you talking about Theodore? Theodore Mwatzos?
Theodore Matzos.
Uh-huh. So they sold the shop to Theodore Mwatzos.
600 pounds.
600 pounds.
200 pounds each.
Wow.
Leave it there to come.
Συσρεβίκη και χρόνια πολλά, μεγάλη να γίνεις με άσπρα μαλλιά. Αντού να σκορπίζεις τις νιώθεις το φως και όλοι να λένε να ένας ο φως.
Now you got, I got most of it, but I don't understand all of it.